what we're going to be doing in this one is making a sheet which tracks the amount of hours we work, totals them up, and we have a nice colorful view of everything. So we're going to show you how exactly to build this, but if you want the sheet, all you need to do is go to our school community Coder Trader, and here you'll find our code vault, and you'll find it in the code vault. Let's show you how to make this Excel sheet.
You have successfully dialed Coder Trader.
Welcome everyone. So what we're going to be doing today is creating an Excel sheet which tracks how much we work and how much we do our hobbies and all that good stuff. And this is the exact one I use, and I'm going to sort of go through how to build such things. So it sort of negates the reason to need to buy tracking apps or to do apps or things like that. It's actually quite easy to make in Excel. So we're gonna make that essentially. So sit back, relax, and let's make this sheet. So this is gonna be called measure, and I'm gonna rename this sheet here to, I'm gonna call it raw data, and you'll see in a second. So raw data, it's called raw. Now we're starting at January 1st and we're going, the year, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have 6 columns here, and we're going to track how much deep work we do, how much shallow work we do, and how many we spend on hobbies. And then this is going to be a text field here. It's going to be why, the reasons why we did so much work or didn't do so much work, and then we're going to track the total work for that day, so which will be this plus this, and then we're just going to track how many hours we worked in the week essentially. So let's fill in some data points here. So maybe it could be like that day 2, maybe 0.75, just some data, right? Nothing crazy. And maybe shallow work we could have done like 0.9, 1, 3, 3, something like that, right? And then maybe hobbies. So for example, my hobby is dancing. I'm a salsa dancer, right? So what I would do is I'd say how many hours a day I did dancing. Maybe you do other things like sports or something like that. So I just put in my hobbies there. So that's what I do. You don't have to track your hobbies, but I take salsa very seriously, and I actually want to get the hours of practice up quite a lot. So we can just say, okay, we did hobbies for an hour, half an hour, maybe 30 minutes again, 30 minutes again, and let's just say all 30 minutes, right? Cool. Yep. Leave why for now. So actually, no, we'll address why. So why is the reason you feel like you work. So here we didn't work that much, right? We only worked an hour and then 0.9 of an hour, right? So let's just say so you need to put the reason why that happened. So I was watching TikTok. I was watching TikTok. So you look back and be like, oh, and you can sort of format things. Let's see, can we get it? Why? Yes, better. So I was watching TikTok, and obviously the spelling doesn't have to be too crazy, it doesn't have to be correct. It's just for you, really. And the total work. So what you do is you just go equals, click that one, plus, click that one, and then that'll be that, right? And now gives us this nice little autofill thing here we can do, which click that. But I'm not going to click it because I want to do something. I want to show you something, but I would click this. So what you can do is you go to the right corner. You see this little arrow. And then you can drag it down. And then what that does is, if you look at the formula, it's going to add those two up, right? And so you can sort of pattern way to the end. Yeah, these are all zeros because we don't have any data there essentially. And then in the work week, what we're going to do is we'll fill in a bit more data here. Yep. So let's just say, okay, let's make it easy, like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Yep, nothing crazy. And then tell you what, we could even highlight that, copy it over, paste that there. Yep, we'll just say 1, and okay, let's say we've spent 0.7 on our hobbies. We could just highlight that. We could just bring it down like that, right? 0.7, and so we see some of these actually here, built in here. Now the work week, what we're going to be doing is we're going to, it's the last 7 days of the total amount of hours we have worked. So what's that going to look like is we go start at 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So that's 7 days. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to use the sum here. So sum, I want you to sum sum the last 7 days. So it'll be this, that, all the way there, right? And we just hit enter. And we can just autofill that there. And so you can see it should have shifted down there by 1, and then you'll see the same there. It shifted. So it's a total of how much work you've essentially worked this week, right? So that is pretty cool. The next thing I would do, right, is I would some conditional formatting. So you want to make the cells look more like red or green depending on how much you work. So it's just nice on the eye, and you can sort of back and see how much you have worked or not worked, essentially. Okay, let's do that. What we're going to be doing is we're just going to highlight the column there. So let's say deep work, and we're going to go format, formatting, which is here right on the side. So that's just some of my code. I'll get rid of that. So here on the side, a bit of conditioning formatting. So what we can do is we can say color scale, and we can say the min value could be a number, the midpoint, just leave that for now. And then the max value, how many deep work could someone actually properly work? More like 4, right? But let's just say 10. And so the minimum you could do is 0. And so let's just make that red. So 0 means you didn't work anything, right? And then bright green means you worked the maximum of 10 hours. So we'll just apply that here. Oh, looks like, yep. Let's see, yep. So it looks like it is already applied. Let's do that. Now say we can do more shallow work than deep work, right? So what I'll do is I'll go format, formatting, let's go for color scale, number, let's say 0 is the min, and then, okay, let's bring this into the screen a bit more. That's better. 0 is the min, we could make that bright red, and let's say the number of shallow, the amount of shallow work you could do is probably a bit higher, so let's make that 15. Cool. Done. Yep. And then hobbies, depending on how much. So I'm going to leave that as an exercise for you to do. You put your reason there, TikTok, whatever. Okay, so we can conditional format this one here. So we'll do the same thing. Go for color scale, number 0, and let's say let's just say 15 is those are a lot of work hours. I don't think you'll be doing much deep work, focus work with 15 hours, but we'll put that. Yeah. So it goes from 0 to 15, and red is bad and green is good. Cool, that's it. Now, work week. So I don't know what would be reasonable in a work week. So you do the same thing. Format, conditional, color scale, number 0, number, yeah, I don't know. Let's just say something 30. So that's fine. Make that color. Done. Okay, cool. That's looking good. So as the days go by, what you do is you just put in numbers there. Put in numbers there, and this is a homework exercise, this hobby one. Okay, so that's that. So that's how I track things, and then you get a bunch of things there, right? Okay, so let's move on to the thing I track. Actually, no, let's do that in the next video.